What's up, everyone? Welcome to new gameplay today. My name is Marcus Stewart. I am joined by Kyle Hillard. Hello.
Hey, looks like the geometry wars have really gotten out of hand.
They've really hit next level. This is Kill Night, which, as you can see, the first part of the name just happened because I died. This is a new upcoming game, a very much hack and slash, bullet hell inspired shooter. Where, as you can see here, the objective is to just kill a bunch of stuff as a cool knight. And not in addition to being a knight, you've also got guns, because that's what knights are known to use, guns.
Yeah, that's what Arthur pulled out of the stone, right? Was a gun.
Yeah, it was like a Glock or something like that. You got it from the lady in the lake. Yeah.
He held it sideways.
Only the cool guys do that. Yeah, exactly. So this is developed by Playside. There's a demo out now on Steam, which is what I'm playing. And yeah, this popped up at a showcase a few months ago and really caught my eye just because I'm a fan of just like basically like stuff like this, like just a simple sort of like shooter where, as you can see here, it's a pretty simple premise where you're just blasting through waves of these weird like aliens or bugs or maybe both. But I would say it feels really good so far. So you've got two dual machine guns, you've got a shotgun, and then you can also melee attack with a sword. And the idea is basically to try to last as long as possible. Apparently the full game will have like 5 different layers or levels, they call them. And you're just trying to just last as long as you can while also jacking your score up as high as you can. So you can see there's like an instant reload thing. Like in Gears of War, that'll help you reload faster. But what's also cool is that if you hit a melee attack within the meter, you'll do sort of like a super-powered melee attack. And then your gun can also absorb the kind of like red gems that the enemies drop. And then that charges up like a special attack that's kind of the only way, at least that I've found, that you can regain health. If you fire this big old like fireball, it just like I did there, it'll drop health pickups. But then also, if you choose to just pick up the red health instead of sucking it in, it builds up this like kill meter, and you basically just level up your attacks every time you fill up that meter. It's the one at the very top. And every time you hit like a new sort of like power level, you can shoot faster and you'll do more damage. So you're sort of balancing like, oh, do I want to build up that meter, or should I be sucking this up to unleash that fireball so I can get more health? And so it sort of varies based on like how dire the situation is.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks like, straightforward. It looks familiar, but like exciting and cool, and a well done version of this.
Yeah, it's like this is gonna be a shorter NGT because it's like one of the games where like you kind of get the point pretty quickly. But I was like, we're watching like the first few runs that I did, so I was not as good as I am now, even though I've only played a few more runs since this. There's like a pretty good tutorial that they kind of urge you to jump into in the beginning, because they're like, hey, this game's pretty hard. You should learn how to play it probably. Which I recommend people not skip if you play this.
Yeah, but it sounds like complicated in like a nice way. Maybe complicated is not the right word, but it's like it's giving you more to think about than just moving and aiming.
Yeah, like there were times, a lot of times when I died was just sort of when I zigged when I should have zagged, and not just because of like, oh, I got hit by something I should have dodged. It's more like, oh, I should have built up the charge attack so that I could heal, but instead I did something else, and maybe that wasn't the right move in this situation. And like the more you play, you kind of, the little like inherent depth that's in the game starts to arise, where you're like, okay, I think I have like a good flow, and this is one of those games that when you get into like that flow state where you just sort of like your mind just sort of melts away and you're almost playing like on autopilot, and then like you start to believe like if it was the Matrix. Yeah, you get into that zone,
like
and then
you term for that, right? Other than being like in the zone, it's like I've only hit that a few times in my life with these kinds of games, and it's like it's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I think the run that we're watching now is I think it's the best run that I had done up to this point, where I was in that zone. And you can see sometimes as you progress, the level changes to where like different floor tiles will drop out, and it basically just changes the construction of the arena, or rather the layout. So it makes the spaces like tighter, or just like just interesting layouts where you're like, okay, I need to either funnel enemies in a different way, or it forces you to kind of get out of your comfort zone. Where like, oh, I found a nice little corner here, maybe I'll stay here, and then they'll take that away from you, and then it's like, okay, I need to figure out how this layout, like, what are the sort of like good spots, it's pretty cool.
Oh, by the way, are you playing with a controller or are you doing mouse and keyboard?
I'm playing with a controller. Like I said, it's only on PC right now. I want to say it's planned for consoles when it comes out. It's supposed to come out sometime this year. But yeah, I'm playing on PC with a controller, but you can play mouse and keyboard if you like. You see how good that burst was? See all the health that I just got?
That's nice.
It's
very satisfying overall.
There's also, we're not going to see it in this playthrough, but you can also do a parry counter. So with your melee sword, which by the way, the melee sword is the only way you can regain shotgun health. So, like, you know, when you do your shotgun, you get, like, a really nice spread shot, but you have limited ammo, so the game forces you, like, hey, if you want to keep doing that powerful spread shot, you need to get in there and start, like, hacking dudes away. So there's that, like, risk-reward prospect. But then also, with the sword, there are enemies that will do these kind of, like, red tinted attacks, and if you time it right before they hit you, you can kind of, like, deflect them. But then also, if you hold the attack button right after the deflection, it slows time. So it's almost like a, maybe like the closest comparison is almost like a witch time in Bayonetta, where it's like, okay, I parried, and then I slow time for a second, and I can kind of get in there and maybe, like, do some damage unimpeded.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you see that the level just changed again. So now it's kind of like this, this cross kind of design. So it's like, okay, I just have narrow corridors to work with. Some enemies there, like that big one I just destroyed, has like armor on it. So you have to blast their armor away, and now these weird like spinny blade things are here. And there it is.
Oh, you didn't make it. Hey, good run.
And this is one of those games where you're like, one more run. Like you're like, okay, I did really good that time.
Yeah.
Like just throws you back in. You're like, I think I could get back. Then you see you have like side objectives there that appear every stage. You're like, okay, maybe I'll shoot for some of those.
Is there any hint at story? I mean, this is just a demo, so they might not even have that element. But is there like or is it just sort of like, yeah, don't worry about that part of it. This is just a cool-looking dude shooting cool-looking enemies.
What if I told you that this was just a cool-looking dude shooting cool-looking enemies?
I believe.
Yeah, as far as I know, I will say I'm looking at the Steam page, and the very brief synopsis, and I'll read it verbatim, says, "Once a loyal knight, betrayed and banished to the abyss. A desecrated corpse inside reanimated armor. You rise to an eternal death. Branded Kill Knight, you have one purpose. Kill the last angel."
Okay, so yeah, you have a goal. All right.
Yeah, you're a reanimated guy in knight armor, and you're trying to kill the last angel. And then also you got to fight. It describes the 5 levels as 5 Eldritch layers.
Okay.
So there you go.
I like the idea of like, you're Kill Knight. What else do you need to know? That's like,
what did you come here for? But yeah, this is Kill Knight. Like I said, there's a Steam demo out now that you can check out. It's really fun so far. I want to keep playing it, and it's slated to come out later this year.